On July 14, 2003, the United States government finally revealed the truth about the notorious and enigmatic Area 51, a place that had long been a source of nightmares for many. Let's delve into the chilling story of a project known as Project Abigail that unfolded within the secretive confines of Area 51. The tale traces back to 1943 when Area 51 was still referred to as an auxiliary airfield of the Indiana Air Force Springs. However, rumors about activities beyond mere flights began to spread rapidly, intriguing the media of the time. Journalists attempted to capture glimpses inside Area 51, but were met with heavy security. The presence of numerous military trucks guarding the area only heightened the curiosity surrounding this secretive place. Undeterred, some journalists devised a plan. They managed to capture photographs of employees patrolling along the perimeter fence from a distance, and subsequently discovered the residences of these employees. Offering substantial sums of money, they obtained information about an astonishing experiment involving a young and beautiful girl named Abigail Wester. Abigail was the daughter of Major Albert Wester, one of the highly respected scientists at Area 51. During World War II, the United States believed that Hitler's significant advancements were a result of scientific experiments. This led the Americans to embark on their own quest to create a new breed of human, a super soldier akin to Captain America. However, finding willing participants for these experiments proved challenging. It was then that Major Albert Wester offered his own daughter, Abigail, a brilliant university student who had immersed herself in her father's work at Area 51, as the test subject. Driven by their unwavering faith in the experiment's success, Albert and Abigail proceeded, dismissing the concerns raised by fellow scientists. They were undeterred by the high doses of radiation both would have to endure. However, before long, other scientists advised Abigail's father to halt the experiment as her appearance began to deform and mutate. Her once lovely face distorted, her teeth grew in strange ways, her fair complexion lost its radiance, and wrinkles prematurely aged her. Even her aunt's gorgeous hair turned gray and started to fall out. Yet, Albert remained resolute, convinced that completing the experiment was the only way to save Abigail from certain death. Driven by fanatical belief in his theoretical achievements, Albert miraculously convinced the leadership to keep the project ongoing despite the growing pressure from fellow scientists. For years, he continued to subject his daughter to experiments. Leaked information suggested that the employees at Area 51 constantly carried vast amounts of food, as Abigail's appetite had grown insatiable. Some claimed that Albert spent hours conversing with her, receiving only growls in response, and occasionally shedding tears. Others insisted that Abigail had descended into complete madness, her body transforming into a monstrous form. Standing almost 3 meters tall, her bones elongated, and her humanity seemingly lost, she resembled more of a wild creature than a human being. Many declared the experiment an utter failure. However, Albert remained resolute in his belief that the experiment would succeed. Nevertheless, mounting pressure from fellow scientists and the government's unwillingness to invest further led Albert to take his own life for years after the initiation of Project Abigail. In his farewell letter, he pleaded for his daughter's life to be spared. The employees at Area 51, moved by compassion, chose not to destroy Abigail, as their funding and security provisions continued. Soon, Horrifying screams and eerie sounds emanated from Abigail's cell. Rumors spread that she had escaped, killing 2 guards effortlessly, seemingly impervious to bullets. Fearing further casualties, the authorities decided to seal off the area where she was believed to be, using the most durable materials available. It has been over 70 years since the termination of the Abigail project, yet some guards claim to hear Abigail's haunting screams during the night in the western area of Area 51. The government, aware of the monstrous being she has become, refrains from interfering, for they know that destroying her is impossible. The best they can do is keep Abigail confined in an improvised cage. Indeed, the Mad Doctor succeeded in creating an invulnerable superhuman, but one devoid of reason and control. This chilling urban legend is further supported by the testimony of a former employee of Area 51. The employee revealed a horrifying experiment conducted within the heavily guarded military base, involving 10 boys and a girl. These children, recruited from the streets and even orphanages, were subjected to an unimaginable procedure. An extraterrestrial sample was inserted into the girl's brain, an organic parasite that fed on the gray matter in her spinal cord. The experiment aimed to enhance the subject's brain function dramatically. The boys were placed in a room with their eyes covered, while technological devices were utilized to augment their experience. Surprisingly, subsequent blood tests revealed that the leukocyte levels dropped significantly, while platelet levels increased exponentially, indicating a substantial boost in brain activity. The fired employee, who recounted this disturbing experiment, was silenced and deemed mentally unstable, placed in a psychiatric hospital. His claims were disregarded, and his credibility destroyed. Despite the challenges he faced, he insisted that everything he revealed was the truth. Another eerie legend connected to Area 51 revolves around an alleged captured alien residing within its confines. A person known as Vector managed to smuggle out a videotape containing an interrogation of a great alien. The existence of this tape was first mentioned on March 13, 1997, during a radio show featuring renowned UFO expert Chin David Morton. Morton claimed the material was fresh, dating back to 1996. After obtaining the video, Vector sought to have it broadcasted on network television as quickly as possible, knowing that his life was in danger should he be identified by the authorities. Negotiations were initially held with various television companies, including Fox Television. However, due to the inability to authenticate the video, they declined. Finally, in July 1996, an independent company called Rocket Home Peak Productions agreed to air the footage. Morton was then called upon to provide commentary after viewing the tape. The recording depicted an interrogation that took place in a dimly lit room with a green glow. 2 men, one in military attire and the other casually dressed, were positioned with their backs to the camera, sitting at a long table furnished with microphones. Medical equipment was also observed in their hands. The alien subject, a small creature with dark eyes, a large head, and brownish skin, appeared visibly ill. It swayed continuously, exhibiting signs of distress. Its skin had a pinkish beige hue, with a portion of its head turning purple, reminiscent of a deformed skull. Towards the end of the recording, the creature experienced severe convulsions, foaming at the mouth. Doctors rushed to its aid, and the recording abruptly ended. Opinions on the tape's authenticity varied, with some believing in its veracity while others remained skeptical. The video contained an encoded date displayed as 27 in the bottom strip of the frame, likely indicating the time and date of the letter. Moreover, the tape bore the inscription of the Naval Intelligence Ministry, suggesting their involvement in the activities at Area 51, a significant entity responsible for the base's operations. The most reliable source to confirm the tape's legitimacy was a man known as Victor, who kept his identity hidden due to fear of reprisal. Victor managed to make a copy of the tape during his involvement in the digitization of analog cassettes, intentionally removing the soundtrack to protect the interrogators' identities.